I get asked all the time, what camera should I buy for X budget? Well, in this video, I'm going to make a recommendation for every budget, starting at $100, then doubling all the way up to $1,600, which I think is kind of the upper threshold for a budget-friendly camera, depending on the individual. So let's get into it. Starting off at the base budget of $100, let's reset our expectations for just a sec. We're going to need to turn back time around 20 years till we can find a solid digital camera that will produce great images for less than $100 with a lens, which can be a bit of a challenge. In the early to mid 2000s, cameras definitely hit a certain threshold that is more than usable for most people today for street photography, travel photography, landscape photography. Here from this era, you can definitely find DSLRs from Canon and Nikon going for less than £50 or $50 on the used market, even from websites like MPB. And in this video, I'm going to be referencing MPB from the US, because I know the majority of my audience are based in the United States. So we're going to be looking at that for prices, and then also cross-referencing for some better offers on eBay, because eBay US is also going to have much better deals than MPB. But we're going to be browsing with MPB because it's a good place to kind of just get an idea of what models are available. For example, the Canon Rebel, this is the original Canon Rebel in this very cool silver, or the Nikon D70 are both great options. Both have around 6 megapixels. The Canon uses SD cards, which is great if you are a modern photographer, and the Nikon uses compact flash, so you might need a specific reader or adapter depending on your current setup. Both also have a modest handful of autofocus points, which was the style at the time. With these specific cameras, actually I think MPB has some of the best deals, but you can definitely look across eBay and hopefully find a bundle going on a buy it now or an auction. But actually, if you were to price up just a camera and a lens on MPB for a camera system like this, you can get a pretty good deal. Lenses for both of these mounts are also crazy abundant because of just how long they've been around for, and very affordable on the used market. You can also get a standard kit zoom for Nikon around $60, or for the Canon for around $50 to $60 as well, and this is just on MPB, without looking at multiple lens bundles on eBay, for example. It's also worth noting that the Canon Digital Rebel already uses a CMOS sensor like most modern cameras, whereas the D70 actually uses a CCD sensor, which could be more interesting if you're looking for a more unique look. This CCD sensor technology can also be found in the Nikon D200, which I actually bought for very little money, but definitely on MPB in the US and eBay in the US is going for more than it should be at the moment. But you can go check out my full video on the D200 up here. This also has a CCD sensor, uses compact flash, and I think that had about 10 megapixels. So it's a good kind of benchmark to get some examples from if you are going to consider something like the D70. Next, we're going to double up our price from $100 to $200, and this gets us past the world of mirrors.
Welcome to the mirror world!
There are definitely still some great DSLRs on offer here at this price, but for $200 we definitely get into the mirrorless side of things. And just like with the old Canon and Nikon mounts, we're going to look at one of the older mirrorless camera lens mounts. And in this specific example, this is going to be the Sony E mount, which has plenty of cameras and plenty of lenses available for very little money. We're looking at APS-C sensor cameras from the early 2010s in this category, with respectable resolutions of around 14 megapixels depending on your specific choice and budget. I would personally choose anything from the early Sony NEX cameras all the way up to the A5000 series if you can afford it or get a good deal. I can personally vouch for the Sony NEX5, which is available here in the US on MPB for around $200. But if you look on eBay, you can find deals for less than $200 for the body only, or paired with a zoom for $200 all in. Plus, shooting with an E-mount camera like this means you have an open lens mount with a continuous stream of budget third-party lenses, constantly being like released and also going on extra sale on the used market as well, along with all of the first party lenses from Sony and kind of long-standing third-party manufacturers like Tamron and Sigma. I made a whole video on the Sony NEX5 a couple of years ago, which you can watch up here. In that video, I show you how you can use this little tiny camera for great image quality, how to set it up, and all the different lenses you can use with it. And if you like videos just like this one, remember to drop a like on this video down below and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos when they come out. Now, let's jump up to $400. Taking a moderate jump up to $400, this definitely opens up your choices from more brands depending on DSLRs, mirrorless, smaller sensors, larger sensors. But I actually want to put forward a smaller sensor camera system where you might be able to get one camera and a couple of prime lenses that I think make for a very nice, pocketable travel and street photography kit. So that's why I want to talk to you about Micro Four Thirds. Here I want to put forward an option that for the budget of $400 can definitely get you a body plus a couple of nice pancake prime lenses. While there are some options from Lumix that I'd recommend for over $400, like the GX7 or the GX80 or 85 depending on your region, here I'd like to suggest the Olympus EPL6, which sells on MPB US, body only for less than $300. I actually bought mine for significantly less than that when I was in Japan last year, but here you can actually find the body only on eBay for less than $200, or some great lens bundles for around $300. Personally, I'd suggest finding the body only for as low as possible, and then going and hunting for specific prime lenses that you're interested in. In this case, I would go looking for things like the 20mm f1.7 and even the 14mm f2.5. You can easily build up a nice little kit with the EPL6 plus a couple of lenses like these and get some great image quality in very pocketable size, and you also have a nice flexibility of prime lenses rather than just relying on a basic kit zoom for around this budget. You can also see a full video I did on the EPL6 using this 14mm f2.5 in this video up here. I actually got some quite nice photos on that particular day, and this setup is definitely no slouch, even considering the price. Next, doubling up again, we're reaching probably the most ideal budget for buying a used camera, and that is $800. For this amount of money, you have many options, but I want to give you one specific recommendation that I think fits the bill for any street or travel photographer. For this number, my number one pick for street photography would be something like the Fujifilm X-T2, which we actually still have. I bought mine for around £400, but on MPB UK last year. But in the US right now on MPB, this sells for less than $800, around $700 for the body only. But if we look on eBay, we can find much better deals for this, around $500 for the body only. Fujifilm lenses, brand new and even used, can be fairly expensive, but you can find affordable third-party options, either new or used. Or you can look on eBay for a bundle like this one with the standard f2.8 to f4 variable aperture zoom in a bundle for $800. I say the X-T2 specifically from first-hand experience, and because it has a nice balance of image quality, build quality, and features, along with things like F-Log video. Even though it's only an 8-bit and there's no IBIS, I actually think this is a very feature-packed camera for the price, and you get that lovely Fujifilm image quality, film simulations, the kind of digital zone focus setup for street photography that I particularly love, which I made a whole video on up here. This camera honestly to me is kind of the best balance of value and features specifically from Fujifilm, and I feel like these days Fujifilm is a very sought after camera brand, and for this amount of money you can get a great option, potentially with a couple of third-party lenses. In that video I mentioned up here, I was actually shooting with a very cheap TT Artisan 23mm f1.8, which sells new for around $130. So finding that either new or used, you can still get great image quality, as you'll see in that video up there. And all the images you're seeing from the X-T2 and the other cameras that I've mentioned in this video were all edited using my film simulation presets. And you can pick up my Kodak film stock presets, my Fujifilm film stock presets, or my naturally filmic presets, and save when you buy all 3 packs together in the 3-pack bundle. And viewers of this video can use this unique code for an extra 20% off at checkout. These are some of the best film simulation presets you can buy, and I use these in 100% of the images you see in my videos, over on my Instagram, and in my website portfolio. So I'll drop a link in the description below if you want to go check these out. Last but not least, we're doubling up one more time to $1,600. For this amount of money, you can definitely get something full frame that's secondhand, or you can actually get something brand new, which I'm going to share with you at the very end of this video. Personally, for this price, I'd lean towards a full frame hybrid option, like the original Sony a7C, which can be found at this price point with extra room to afford a solid prime or a pair of prime lenses. Even on MPB US, the a7C goes for around $1,000 to $1,100 without a lens. So that's an additional $500 to $600 budget for picking up a lens or two. Or if you look to eBay, you can actually find the a7C as body only or even bundles for $1,000 or even less. Then if you're on the hunt for specific street prime lenses, you have additional budget left to pick up something really nice, like the iconic 40mm f2.5G lens, which goes for around $500. Or you can get the budget alternatives from Viltrox like the 40mm f2.5 or the TT Artisan 40mm f2, all of which I have videos on, which I'll link all of these in the description below this video. Or if you want something brand new with a fixed zoom lens, 10-bit video, and real-time LUT, then you're going to want to check out the camera in this video here. It just came out this year and it sells for less than $1,600 brand new. And that's before you wait a year and then just buy it on the used market anyway. So give that one a watch.